guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Liz and this is Simply Homeschool. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about tips to keep your kids engaged while homeschooling. Now this is definitely something we all need to know or hear. So if you guys have any tips on how you keep your kids engaged, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear your suggestions. So here are some of mine. Okay, so my first suggestion would be to change up your days. Don't always have them in the order that you normally do them. Say you do Bible one morning and the next morning you want to do math or history, or say you do your morning basket in the morning. Say you want to do it in the afternoon after lunch to kind of ease back into school. Change your day up. That may help kind of make their days seem a little bit different and not so repetitive. So something else you can do to help your kids feel engaged or a part of is once they're done with a test or a quiz or even just seat work, have them correct their own paper. So if they're younger, what I would suggest doing is you would read out the answers to them, they would check their paper and make sure that all the answers are correct. Mark the incorrect answers, and then you can even have them put a sticker on it. For your older kids, you can even give them the book with you being there and have them correct it on their own. You can have them correct their younger siblings' work, and then you can have the younger sibling put the sticker on it. Just kind of have them feel engaged. I know when I was younger, because I was in public school, I used to love helping my teacher do corrections or putting the stickers on. I still remember with a couple of the teachers, they let us do that during recess, or especially like if you had hurt yourself and you had a letter that you couldn't go to recess or something, your teacher would let you help them. So I always loved doing that. That would be something that can keep your kids engaged and feeling a part of it, or older, or like the teacher. Another thing you can do is give your kids school duties. So say you have a large chalkboard or whiteboard, you could always have them clean or erase it at the end of the day. You could have your older kids help you set up the next day's work, or maybe do their checklist for themselves for the next day. You can always even have them use the sharpener, sharpen some pencils for the week, or just be creative. Find something, make it seem exciting, especially for those little ones. They love doing stuff like that if they feel like they're helping out. So that would be my next suggestion. So on days that you feel like your kids are dragging, or they're complaining, or they don't want to sit and watch a video if you're video led, or they don't want to sit and do seat work. If it's review work, skip that video, skip that seat work. Sit down and do a learning game with them. Do something hands-on that has to do with what they're learning. So if they don't want to do math that day, or they're complaining about it, but they're doing really well in math and all they have is review work, sit down and play a math game with them. Or a store, pretend you're in a store and you guys are shopping and use a cash register. And I always talk about stuff like that. I think I put it in my videos, I'm not sure. But always incorporate like some fun learning for them. And if they're excelling in something, it's okay if they skip that seat work for the day. Now, if it's a new concept that they're learning, I would definitely not skip that subject for that day. They should be learning that. Or have them do the learning game that day, and then the next day have them do that new lesson. So there's ways to kind of, play with your scheduling or your plans for that day. One thing that my daughter and myself used to do is when she would have her spelling words, I always had her, I would tell her a word and she would have to spell it back to me. So I would tell her a word, we would have a ball or a stuffed animal, and what she would do is, as I told her the word, I would throw her the ball and she would catch it, and then she would have to spell it. And if she spelled it correctly, she would throw it back to me. If she didn't, I would tell her to hold on to the ball and she would have to repeat spelling it. And once she got the spelling word correct, then I would have her throw it back to me, and we would just continue to play that. And I'm telling you, it really worked. It made it fun. She never complained about having to do it. So things like that may help. Now, sometimes, something active like that, especially boys. I have a son. I think if I were to throw a ball at him and tell me to spell a word, he would just keep throwing the ball or I don't know. I don't know what he would do, but I don't know. So that may work for some of your kids and it may not for others. So if you have a kid that likes to move around a lot, that's constantly having to like move or kick or move their hands, get a little exercise ball for them. I'm not sure what they are called, but just sit it at their desk or the table where they're working or where you're reading to them, and just kind of have them sit on it and bounce while they work. That tends to kind of keep them actively moving, but they still pay attention to what they're learning. What I like to do, and I know this is controversial, you know what I'm saying, but I like to do incentives. So the last couple years I've had a prize box or a store for when my daughter behaved. When she'd do really good for school and she'd pay attention and she'd do what she was supposed to be doing, I would give her $1. That was last year. I was giving her money, but first grade I was giving her tickets. So anyways, what I would do is I would just give her little incentives, and once she reached a certain amount of either tickets or money, she'd be able to purchase something from our little store. Now all the items I purchased basically from the dollar store, 99-cent store, and Daiso. So they were really cheap, but I would mark them up in price obviously, and she would be able to purchase things. So it kind of gave her an incentive. So if I felt like she was kind of falling off the wagon and not behaving, I'd be like, do you want to earn that $1 today? Pay attention. Stuff like that. Just to kind of give them something to look forward to working towards. Being that young, they're not like, oh, I want an A. Well, I guess sometimes my daughter's kind of crazy like that. But they're more interested in a toy or a puzzle or crayons and, I don't know, a little coloring book. You get what I'm saying. So we would have incentives. Now this year we are doing something different. I'll make sure to have a video up of what I choose to do. That'll come up later on because I have a million videos to get up right now. But I would try doing some sort of incentive. It doesn't have to be prizes. It could be anything. It could be you watching a movie with them, taking time out of the day for them. It could be going and picking up an ice cream cone from Frosty Freeze or Sonic or McDonald's, something like that, you know, just something for them to look forward to. One thing that I really found helpful with my daughter, okay, so let me back up a little bit. So we, for the first 2 years of homeschooling, we have done a Becca, and we did video led. So she was mainly watching the teacher on the screen. Now I would work with her, we would take time out and do things together, but I found if I was in the room with her, sitting in the room, she was more engaged in what she was watching. As soon as I was not in the schoolroom and say I was doing dishes, she would be up telling me she's hungry or just up, distracted. So I found that being with her throughout that time of learning really helped. So I have to, I mean, even now, I have to kind of tell myself, like I'll do, you know, correcting or cleaning in that room at that time or scheduling for the next day or anything, just to keep myself in the schoolroom with her most of the time. It kept her more engaged. So maybe just being there, if you are video led, trying to make it a point to kind of stay with them, it may keep them more engaged. Now it may be harder on us as moms because we have to take care of the household. We have other kids maybe that aren't in school. Try to keep them occupied as you're teaching or sitting in there. So that was something that I found to be helpful. So this last one I have for you guys, I haven't really used it yet. This year for school, we are doing a Becca video led for language, but the rest of the subjects I'm going to be teaching except for math. So what I was thinking about is I was at the Target dollar spot, and I will have a haul up for that either before this video or after, I'm not sure. So be sure to check out my channel or have your notification bell on, that way you don't miss it. So anyways, I had found this little buzzer that you put batteries in and you can ask questions and turn it into a game. So I was thinking that that would totally keep her engaged. So maybe she doesn't want to do something, or she's like lagging, or I don't know, pouting because she doesn't want to do something. Then I could be like, here's the buzzer, let's play a little game. And then I can ask her questions that are engaging throughout our lesson. So say we're reading history and she's kind of not paying attention. I'm like, oh, let me get you your buzzer just in case I ask you a question, you know what the answer is. So maybe read a paragraph. You can ask a question from what you just read and she has to hit that buzzer, and there you go. If you have multiple kids, it's something that you can do. You could even have them knock on the desk or the table if you don't have a buzzer, or clap, something that makes a noise, snap, I don't know, something like that. They also have, these are really annoying, but they also at the Dollar Tree, they have, I don't know if they still have them, but I purchased them I think a few years ago or last year. They have like a handle and then these hands, and I think there's 3 of them. So there's one in the middle, one on both sides, and you go like this with the stick and it like claps. It's really loud and annoying, but the buzzard's probably gonna be just as annoying. I don't know, but it'll be fun and the kids will be engaged. So that's my last one, you guys. I hope that those were helpful. I hope that you found something in here that you, I don't know, have either tried and it's worked, or maybe you can try this coming up school year. So please, you guys, if you try it, let me know down in the comments and let me know how it worked. I want to know, because these work with my kid. I'll have to figure out if the buzzer one's gonna work. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe, the like, and the notification bell. That way you can see all of my homeschooling content. And the most important thing, you can be a part of our YouTube homeschooling family. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys took something from this video that you will find helpful. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your guys' I don't know, tips for engaging your children are. I love seeing stuff like that because, you know, I need anything I can get. Thank you again. Be safe and be blessed always.